So let's talk about this Kings and Warriors game. As we know, the Kings and Warriors played yesterday, and they really had an interesting game with a lot of back and forth. And in the end, the Warriors got the dub. So let's talk about this. First, I want to say shout out to the Golden State Warriors for winning, and shout out to Stephen Curry and De'Aaron Fox, which are both players which in this game, well, Steph Curry had 41 points and De'Aaron Fox had 39. What I really want to talk about in this game is the fact that this game made me realize that the Golden State Warriors are not winning the NBA championship this season. Now, I know that it's way too early to tell. They've only played 2 games in the regular season, and they haven't even had their real lineup yet because Draymond Green's not out there. But I don't think the Warriors are winning, and that's not to hate. You know, I love Steph Curry. I love what he's doing, and really, he's getting better every single season. And I want to put an emphasis on that, on how much better he's actually getting. But, I don't think they're really, doing the same thing that they did in 2022. The reason why is because when I look at this game, right, and I see Sacramento and I see the Golden State Warriors, I see that the Golden State had one of the best games they've had probably, in the last, I don't know how many years. No, not in the past probably year, when it comes to just the way that they handle themselves. And by year, I mean everything after the finals, including preseason and whatever. And I say this because if I read off the percentages to you, the Warriors shot 55% from the field, 44% from 3. I'm rounding up and down, by the way, and 86% from the free throw line. That's almost a 50-40-90 for the team. And that was the team which did that, not Steph. Steph shot incredibly, not Wiggins, not Kuminga, not Chris Paul. That was the team which averaged those percentages. And when I looked at the Kings, and I saw the field goal percentage, they had a 44% field goal percentage, 11% less than the Warriors. They also had, 30% from the three-point line, 14% less than the Warriors. And they had a 69% from the free throw line. That's about a 17% less than the Warriors. And I want you to understand that the Kings' worst game, this game was trash for them. They scored 114 points. Keegan Murray played terribly and missed a lot of threes and took 11 of them and only made 3. Kevin Huerter didn't hit a single three-pointer, right? You could see their guys. Chris Duarte didn't hit a single three-pointer. He missed 6 shots and only made 1 in the entire game. And Kevin Huerter went scoreless with 2 assists and 2 rebounds and a block. This game from the Kings, right, where Klay Thompson had 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds on 50% from the 3 and extremely efficient from the field, when Chris Paul, had 10 points and 12 assists, when Stephen Curry had 41 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals, when Kevon Looney had 8 points, 6 assists, 12 rebounds, 3 offensive boards, 3 steals. This is all on great efficiency except Chris Paul. This all to me says that the Warriors are probably not winning the championship this year. Now, of course, I'm saying this just because I do this. I'm talking to you, and I have, to say these types of things, not for controversy, but just because, I have to look at the season and examine it as it's going on. So if the Warriors get on a hot streak, then I'll probably go and I'll say that they're contenders. But when we see this game and a team which has merged really well, like Chris Paul has not lost a step with them, right? There hasn't been a crack, there hasn't been a flaw. And since they lost Jordan Poole and got Chris Paul, it's not like there's any struggle for minutes. With this team that they have, it's impressive that people still call them contenders of any sense. Because Steph Curry is the engine. He is what makes them win games. He is the 2018 LeBron right now. You know, obviously he doesn't have the trash teammates, but he is that guy who is consistently making the shots, consistently putting his team on top, and consistently being there to really tie the game, put themselves up, or make something happen in game situations. And when we see a guy like that score 41 on insane efficiency, and his team, got outscored, right, in 2 out of the 4 quarters, right? And they had to make 2 huge quarters in the second and third quarter just to even have a chance. Are we really talking about the Warriors as if, you know, they're phenomenal? Or are we really just talking about the fact that they have a win potential which is much higher than other teams? By win potential, I mean that if the Warriors get hot, they're really good. But in this game, extremely great game, where their whole team seemed perfect, right? The only thing, right, where their whole team seemed amazing. Even Moses Moody dropped 10 points. He was a plus 11 when he was on the floor, higher than Curry. Moses Moody. I'm going to keep going. But even though this happened, the Warriors still had to hit a game-winning 3. Not a game, not a game winner, but they had to hit a 3 to seal the game. They had to have shots. They had to go back and forth. They had to play hard defense down the stretch. This was not a blowout game. And for the Kings, which are a team which were just out there, trying to win, playing their hardest, the fact that they got 114 points up, from this game, and do not talk about how many free throws they got, because free throws are only indicative of how good of defense the other team is playing. Because if you have little free throws, right? If you have little free throws, then the team's playing, clean defense. But if you have a lot of free throws, it's the other team's fault. And I'm not arguing about that, because it's true. Like if I foul another team a lot, that just means that my defense is not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because you're not supposed to foul on defensive plays. So when we look at that, where, the Warriors had, where the Warriors, really did have 8 more assists than the Kings, 4 more steals, the same amount of blocks, and when the Warriors had 122 points on this efficiency, what we can really look at is that I don't think the Warriors are going to be contenders this season, real contenders. Obviously, they're going to make the playoffs. They'll most likely make it out of the first round, depending on who their matchup is and how the Western Conference goes. But I'm planning on them to be good. Sacramento's not an easy team to beat. But what we do have to see is that if this is how they start, this is their second game, this is the game that they're supposed to be the, team. They're supposed to go up against their biggest rival right now. And this is what we get. I don't think they're contenders, It's the same thing that's happening for the Lakers, right? Because when we see the Lakers have trouble being the Suns without Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. The game was a 5-point game for that, Suns and Lakers game. And LeBron had to hit 2 clutch shots. Not 1, but 2 clutch shots, clutch layups to seal the game. So, in my opinion, when we really look at what's important about basketball, which is the numbers, the team that you're playing, expectation, and where we're putting these teams, in my opinion, the Warriors are probably not winning this year. I know the Warriors fans are probably going to get mad at me, but I just detailed the statistics and the reasons as to why. The only thing that I will say is that obviously, if Draymond plays up to game and he comes back and he is Draymond Green, we might be having a different discussion in a month. I'm not saying that we're not. I'm just saying that to say that, like, right now, how I'm looking at the Warriors, if they keep playing like this, if Draymond comes back and it's the same thing, they're probably not winning it. that's all I had to say, you know. And these are the videos that I want to make throughout the season, you know, really analyzing the games and really thinking about what could be the options and what could really happen, you know. But yeah, that's the video, and I hope you enjoyed this game. It was a great game. Shout out to Steph, shout out to De'Aaron Fox for doing what they did. I'll see you next video. Peace.